How good is a bike with a sidecar? Now sit right here, pull it to like a parade or something, or a soccer game. Come on, Sally, kick that ball hard. Is this setup something you can haul your kids around in?
Hello, neighbors. Hello.
Is it safe? Is it stable?
You gotta lean, baby, lean.
And are there any downfalls? I'll let you know all of that and a whole lot more. This is the Electrical Coda and it costs $2,000. The sidecar is an accessory piece that costs $760. The total setup for this is $2,760. If you don't want to pay that much, I got a coupon code in the description. Save you a few bucks. In the 15 years I've been doing this, I've never seen anything like this. It reminds me of those motorcycles out of Indiana Jones with the sidecar, and his dad was in there and he popped a stick in the wheel and the guy goes flying. The tire is the same size as the front tire, can hold up to 110 pounds. You got a seat in here. This thing folds up so you can put a bunch of stuff in there, groceries, dogs. When your kids want to ride, put it down. It's got a seat belt, you got handlebars. In the back here, they put this metal piece. Make sure you don't get sprayed with a bunch of water. You got a side piece that just looks pretty nice. And this is a huge rack as well. You got mounting points, so you can add a basket on here, put your kid in there, put your groceries in here. And then you got this in the middle. This unzips, and you got storage in there. Big old headlights. Everything's wrapped up and tidy in the front. More of a sporty type of a tire. As far as a bike that can carry 2 people, I think this has got to be my favorite. It just looks pretty awesome. Now, since I don't have any kids to ride with me to test this thing out, I grabbed some weights. 40 pounds here, 40 pounds here. Out of the box, this is set to top out at 20 miles per hour. But in the advanced settings, you can change that up to 28. On the left, you have a pretty standard thumb throttle. Would have expected something a little bit nicer feeling for a bike in this price range. And then there's 5 speed modes. Eco, Tour, Norm, Sport, Turbo. I want to see how fast each of the modes can go. Starting off with Eco. Eco 7, Tour's 11, Normal's 14, Sport mode 16. With my normal cadence on turbo, I'm hitting 18. Stepping up my cadence, I can hit 22 miles an hour. 22 to 23 miles per hour is as fast as you're gonna go if you're my weight of 180 pounds and if you're hauling around 80 extra pounds. And I'm not surprised that I didn't hit 28 because you got the same size motor that most full-size fat bikes have. It's a 750 watt. But with this setup, you got a lot more weight to haul down the road. The bike itself is 80 pounds. The sidecar with the frame is an undisclosed amount. I couldn't find that on their website. And then you got a weight of a passenger in here. Come on, Sally. To hit 28 miles per hour, you really need a bigger and stronger motor. Now that's only if you want to hit 20 miles per hour. I personally did not want to hit 28 miles per hour with that extra weight in here. And these guys actually recommend not to go that fast if you're carrying a second passenger.
Slow down, bro.
They recommend going about 12 to 15 miles per hour. And after riding this for a couple days, that is truly the sweet spot when you have extra weight in the sidecar. Hitting 20 miles per hour and turning at those faster speeds is a little bit scary. I'll talk about why that's the case later on. Okay, so 22 miles per hour was as fast as I could go when I was pedaling. What about when using the throttle? Gonna lower it to Eco with the throttle, see if there's a difference here. Eco's topping out at 21 to 22. Oh, it actually hit 23 and then it died off and went down to 19. Now it boosts back up in power to 20. The first thing I didn't like about this is the way it delivers power. If it can hit 23 miles per hour, why not just maintain that speed? Especially when you can set the bike to 28. For whatever reason, it hits 23 and then just slides back down and maintains about 20. And then turbo. I thought turbo would be more powerful. It wasn't. Oh, turbo does the same thing. Ramps up to 23 and then slowly dies back down to 20, and that's where it stays. 20 miles per hour is gonna be your average speed. That's for pedaling and the throttle. The second thing I didn't like about the power is how it is delivered and how it is taken away. Just mentioned that it boosts you up to 23. It drops back down, sometimes to 18 and even 17 miles per hour. And then when it hits 17, it turns back on and it boosts you back up to 2021. It's a power wave sort of a deal. Yeah, bro, just hit me a power wave. I don't know, I just like a more consistent power flow. There's a couple more things I didn't like about the motor, and the first is how loud it is. The motor on this thing is pretty loud. You can hear it here in this tunnel. The speed also tends to drop off as the motor gets hot. I don't know what's going on if the motor is just overheating. I've got it on turbo, 63% battery life. I'm only topping out at 10 miles an hour. Might be getting a little bit warm. Down the trail, I let it sit for 5 minutes, and after that, I was back up to 19, 20 miles per hour. I think that was an overheating issue because now I'm climbing and I'm going 19 miles an hour. I talked a little trash about the motor in the previous section. Here's a few things that I liked. And the first one is the peak power off the line. 750 watt motor that peaks at 1500 watts. There's 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, wow, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, 23 and 3/4 of a block. I wasn't expecting to hit 23 miles per hour and 3/4 of a block, but yet I did. That test was done with the throttle. What about pedaling? I'm gonna stand still. Oh yeah, you can, okay, there we go. You can do it. If you're on any type of hill, that's gonna be pretty much impossible. You'll have to use the throttle to get going. From a standstill, it is quite difficult to get this thing going. And that's because this is a single speed bike. No shifting down to an easier gear to pop off the line. Easy fix, don't pedal, use the throttle. There you go. I searched the interwebs and I could not find a hill rating. However, the motor does produce 100 Newton meters of torque. That may mean nothing until you compare that power, which is a standalone bike. That's usually around 70 Newton meters. Got a hill coming up here. This is a 7% grade. I'm gonna hit it with some momentum. I got a 63% battery life. Just a short guy, but it does slow down pretty quick. Made it to the top just with the throttle. And there it is. Speed, 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 and speed is gonna be the key when it comes to hauling your kid around in the sidecar.
Hello.
Now, if you live in the mountains or the hills and you're worried about taxing that motor beyond its limit, well, they say it has a lifespan of up to 18,000 miles. That is a lot of miles. From LA to New York, well, that's a lot of trips back and forth. If you're bored and want to see if that's true, go do it and let me know in the comments. 45 miles is how long they say this can go. Open up my tracking app, start workouts, turbo mode. Here we go. It's got a Samsung 48 volt 20 amp hour battery that's built into the frame and can be taken out. It takes 6 to 7 hours to charge and it's UL certified. About an hour later, it was almost dead. 13.81 miles. Hour and 22-minute ride, 552 feet of elevation gain, almost 14 miles, topping this thing out with 80 pounds. That's pretty good. Before I talk about the ride and feel, I gotta talk about this because that changes things. You're gonna take up the whole bike lane. You are a wide load. You need a sign back here that says wide load. But being so wide, I can actually fit in it. Here we go. I'm a 5'11" guy and I can fit in this thing. That's pretty cool. Now I just need somebody to come and take me for a ride. Obviously, it's not designed to fit adults.
Hello, neighbors.
It's designed for those little ones. It's got a padded backrest, a soft seat, lots of legroom, and there's even a seat belt. There's handlebars up front. The shell has holes in it, so if water gets in there, it'll drain out. And it's attached to a thick frame with the same size wheel as the bike, which makes it nice and level. And it's even got suspension. If you don't have any kids and you want to use this to haul some groceries or some stuff around, the seat folds up, the back folds down. Now I can just drive this to a soccer game. Like I mentioned before, I do like this setup. However, it does take a little bit of time getting used to it. You're probably not gonna like it the first 15, 20 minutes you ride it, but the more you ride it, the more comfortable you become. First thing you gotta get used to is how this turns. Oh yeah, a little tricky to turn. Turn right anyways. Gotta lean more than you normally would on a bike. You get any type of slope on these trails and it tends to pull you that direction, especially left. The second thing is how wide it is. But Michael's. Oh. And with this being so wide, you're really gonna hate gates. Not Bill Gates, but gates on the trail. Oh, I might not be able to make it through here. Got it. Oh, this is the trickiest one of them all, huh? Could be a tricky one. No. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. I never hated them before, but now I do. Whew. I talked about the suspension right here with the sidecar. The bike also has suspension. It's hydraulic. You got 100 millimeters of travel and you can adjust that. And with that suspension, I was expecting to have a pretty comfortable ride. Oh yeah. Oh. That suspension is, oh, not the most comfortable. Now, of course, I like to demonstrate the suspension, so I just cut to all of the really nasty parts of the trail. For most of the ride, it wasn't that bad. I've definitely been on much bumpier bikes. With this being a commuter bike, there's a bunch of gear that this bike has that commuters have, and I want to show you what they are. It's got 4-inch Kenda tires, a large and pretty cushy saddle, BMX-style handlebars that give you a more upright posture. There's higher-end Tektro hydraulic brakes with a 180mm rotor. Oh, you got some nice hydraulic brakes, and you're gonna need them. This is a heavy beast. The grips feel nice, control pad feels nice, got a beautiful color LCD screen. Rating it from 1 to 10 on the comfort scale, I would give it like a 6.5 to 7. The total capacity of the bike is 500 pounds. It comes in either green or gray. It's compatible to hook a trailer behind it. There's an app with over-the-air updates. In the front is a huge headlight. There's a tail lights, lights down the side. It's got blinkers, and it comes with a 2-year warranty. The sidecar also has a 2-year warranty and is compatible with 4 different models. And if you're thinking that you can just buy this separately and hook it up to your bike, you would be wrong. It's only compatible with electrical bikes. I reviewed a bunch of 2-passenger bikes, but I think this has got to be my favorites. Freaking Indiana Jones. One of the few 2-passenger bikes where your second passenger is not just on here holding on for dear life.
Hello, neighbors.
If you want to check it out, I've got the link below. And if you have any questions or anything that didn't make sense in the review, leave a comment. And the garage door just opened, which means my wife is home and the review is done. Wife, you want to go for a ride? Me and you? Together? Okay, cool. It's fine.